हेलो डियर स्टूडेंट्स। तो जल्दी ही बस अब फैसला आने वाला है, उसी फाइनल फैसले का हम इंतजार कर रहे हैं और जो भी अपडेट है वो हम आपको बराबर अपडेट यहाँ पे करते आते हैं पॉइंट टू पॉइंट। लीजिए मैम।
ठीक है। तो पहला अपडेट ये 3:38 पे हुआ है और एडवोकेट जो हैं उन्होंने सीबीआई फाइल, जो सीबीआई इंक्वायरी कर रही है पटना के ऊपर जो भी केस चल रहा है, उसको सबमिट किया। तो चीफ जस्टिस का कहना ये है कि जो भी चीज़ फाइल हुई हैं वो सब भी वेडनेसडे और थर्सडे को जो है सुनी जाएंगी, बस इतना कहा है। उसके बाद देखते हैं नेक्स्ट क्या है। फिर गुजरात की जो है प्ली पर है, क्या है सर
बिल्कुल
देखिए।
मैम। यहाँ पे बोला गया है प्लीड बाय गुजरात बेस्ड स्टूडेंट सीकिंग नो रीनीट बीइंग हर्ड। एडवोकेट ने मेंशन किया है वी आर फेसिंग मेंटल एगोनी। एंड यहाँ पे चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया बोलते हैं दैट्स ओके, नो प्लेस फॉर इमोशन। यहाँ पे इमोशन के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। एंड चीफ जस्टिस बोल रहे हैं मिस्टर एस जी कैन नॉट वी हैव अ डाटा एनालिटिक्स डन बाय साइबर फोरेंसिक टीम टू फाइंड द सस्पिशियस मार्कर। इज इट पॉसिबल टू आइडेंटिफाई द रॉन्ग डोअर्स और बेनिफिशियर फॉर द सेम। देखो यहाँ पे अभी बराबर वर्डिक्ट चल रही है यहाँ पे चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया और जो भी पिटिशनर यहाँ पे अवेलेबल है, राइट, वो अपना पक्ष रख रहे हैं कि ऐसी कई सारी घटनाएं सामने आई हैं जो ये दावा करती हैं कि हाँ मेल प्रैक्टिसेस हुई हैं। और उसके रेस्पेक्ट में जो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया है वो भी यहाँ पे बराबर उनको रिप्लाई कर रहे हैं कि ओके, अगर ऐसा केस है तो हम इसके अकॉर्डिंग ही यहाँ पे मेंशन करेंगे चीज़ों को। आप यहाँ पे बराबर सुनते भी रहिए।
Examination envisage the award of negative marks of one negative mark per wrong answer. Next, in support of the plea that the court should direct a re-examination, the petitioners have primarily relied on two circumstances. First, it has been submitted that that candidates securing the maximum of 720 marks were confined to a few students, between 2020 and 2023. In 2020, full stop. As opposed to this, in the NEET UG 2024, as many as 67 candidates are reported to have secured a maximum of 720 marks. The submission can best be highlighted by reproducing the chart which has been placed during the course of the hearing. ये एक कॉपी कर लीजिए आप। The above chart indicates that while one student in 2020, 3 students in 2021, 1 student in 2022, and 2 students in 2023 secured the maximum marks, there's been a radical increase in the students securing the maximum of 720 marks in 2024. So, apart from the second submission, proceeds on a comparative tabulation of the ranks which were allotted to students in 2022, 2023, and 2024.
For me, most important, the league has happened. That is a go.
The second, the above submission is sought to be highlighted from the following tabulated chart. वो भी डाल दीजिए इसमें BB. The above chart indicates that students receiving specific level of marks between 539 and 700 What secured a particular rank in 2022 secured lower ranks in 2023 and a radically lower rank in 2024. No. Same marks, same level of marks. Not same student. Stop. Next. Considering whether, before that you can say, it is certain basic facts which are not in dispute need to be alluded to. Stop. About 24 lakh students registered for the NEET UG examination, which was to be conducted in the month of May 2024. Stop. About 23.33 lakh students, correct? Yes, sir. Appeared for the 23,33,297 students. वो क्वेश्चन ये बताइए क्या फिगर क्या है? 23,23,290 students, 297 students appeared for the examination. The examination was conducted at 4750 centers comprised within 571 cities. Stop. The examination was also held in 14 cities overseas. Stop. The total number of seats, medical seats for undergraduate, 1 second, I've made a note. For undergraduate.
डियर स्टूडेंट्स, तो यहाँ पे आप एक चीज़ नोटिस कर सकते हैं कि स्वयं चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया भी इस बात पे हैरान हो रहे हैं कि प्रीवियस ईयर में जहाँ पे 1 से 2 AIR 1 आते थे, 2024 में 67 AIR 1 है, जिस चीज़ों को वो कोर्ट भी कर रहे हैं. चलिए इन द एंड देखते हैं क्या नतीजे आने वाले हैं.
Investigation, prima facie, tentatively at present stage, the court has been apprised of the fact and the court has been apprised of the fact that first information reports were registered in Patna, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, and Maharashtra. Correct? Stop. Whether the FIRs in relation to the paper leak is only confined to Patna, yes, or otherwise, is a matter which would have to be reserved for a more detailed elaboration, detailed consideration. Let's stop. The above narration indicates that the examination was conducted over a wide spectrum comprising of nearly 23 lakh students spread over 4,750 centers in India. Stop. Before the court can be full stop. The law on whether a retest should be ordered in a situation such as the present is based on fairly settled parameters. Stop. The court would have to scrutinize on the basis of the data which has emerged on the record whether bracket 1, breach in the sanctity of the examination has taken place, whether, bracket 1, the alleged breach has taken place at a systemic level or at a systemic level, semicolon, bracket 2, whether the breach is of a nature which has affected the integrity of the entire examinations process. And 3, whether it is possible to segregate beneficiaries of the fraud from the untainted students. Stop. In a situation where the breach in the sanctity of an examination affects the entirety of the process, and it is not possible to segregate those who are the beneficiaries of wrongdoing from others, it may be necessary to order re-examination. On the other contrary wise, where the breach is confined to specific areas or centers, and it is possible to identify those who are beneficiaries of wrongdoing, it may not be appropriate to order a retest, particularly in an examination which has been conducted on such a massive scale, involving over 23 lakh students. Involving such a large body of students who would have appeared, who have studied for the examination, undertaken costs and expenses, and would have to undergo the rigors of a fresh examination if it were to be ordered by the court.
तो बच्चों, आपको ये ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि ये जो आपके चीफ जस्टिस हैं ये क्या इतने देर से बोल रहे हैं, वो आपके केस को नरेट कर रहे हैं। जो भी चीज़ें, जो पिटिशंस इनको दी गई हैं, जो भी इनको नरेशन दिया गया है कि यहाँ पर क्या क्या हुआ एनटीए की तरफ से, सरकार की तरफ से और पिटिशनर की तरफ से, वो पूरा केस वो जो है वो नरेट कर रहे हैं कि आपके एग्ज़ाम में कितने बच्चे थे, कितनी सीटें होती हैं, क्या क्या आप लोगों के साथ गड़बड़ियाँ हुई हैं, वो एक बार पूरा नरेट कर लेंगे, उसके बाद वो आपको डिसीजन देंगे। तो अभी नरेशन चल रहा है ऑफ द केस, जो भी आपका माल फंक्शनिंग हुई है उसके बारे में वो बता रहे हैं, और क्या होना चाहिए वो ये भी बता रहे हैं। 2022 में क्या हुआ, 2021 में क्या हुआ और 2024 में क्या हुआ, अब वो पूरा नरेट कर देंगे, उसके बाद आपको डिसीजन देंगे। तो अभी नरेशन चल रहा है पूरा।
The first aspect pertains to the nature of the leak. Places where the leak took place and the lag of time between the occurrence of the leak and the conduct of the examination. And this, from this perspective, NTA is directed to clarify on the basis of the material which is in its possession is obtained on the following issues. Bracket 1. When the leak of the question papers has first taken place. 2. The manner in which the question papers were leaked or disseminated. Bracket 3. The duration between the time duration between the occurrence of the leak and the actual conduct of the examination, which took place at 2 p.m. between 2 p.m. and 5:20 p.m. on 5 May 2024. The second, while making the full stop, on the above aspect, we are also of the view that since the investigation has been entrusted to the CBI, the status report should be filed by the investigating officer before this court, indicating the status of indicating
partner. Only that's a po.
the status of the investigation up to date in the material which has come to light during the course of the investigation. But one may when the leak first was first noticed. The investigating officer shall, in particular, indicate to this court, shall place before this court material which has been gathered during the course of the investigation, which would have a bearing on when the leak is alleged to have first taken place, the modalities in which the leaked question papers were made available. Stop. On the second perspective, the second aspect on which we NTA shall make a disclosure before this court is in regard to the steps which have been taken so far for identification of the beneficiaries of the link. In this regard, the court can be apprised the area of the following. Bracket 1. How many students? What were the steps which were taken by NTA to identify the centers / cities at which the leak took place, 2 modalities followed for identifying the beneficiaries of the leak, and 3 the number of students who have so far been identified to be the beneficiaries of the leaked question papers. Okay. Likewise, the investigating officer
a stroke authority, because identification may not be within our.
All right. The above information, I'll clarify while editing. I'll put it so that it will be more the Ministry of Home Affairs or some other.
Not the leak will be at one place. That how many centers the leak paper has been made available, because the leak will be in the
entire at one place. No. We have said that dissemination also. We have said. The investigating officer shall also submit the status report bearing on the above aspects.
Yes. Well, it's one point.
Third, the third aspect on which it is necessary to have a further disclosure by the union government as well as by NT. We'll say union government and NT. Is whether it is possible by the union government and NT is whether it would be is on whether
technically feasible.
Yeah, whether it would be feasible, using data analytics, either within the cyber forensic unit or any other expert agencies within or which may be employed by the government to identify cases where suspect cases would stop. For instance, these cases may involve full stop. This may be if this is possible, the authorities shall identify before the court identify the modalities which can be followed so as to segregate the tainted from the untainted students. The third aspect on which we would require a disclosure is in regard to the modalities to be followed between the conclusion of the examination, including the retest which was held for 1563 students, and the actual commencement of the counseling process. First off, if an exercise is to be conducted by the NTA and by the union government so as to reduce any further beneficiaries of the question paper leakage, a considered decision at the policy level would have to be taken by the government on whether counseling could be allowed to proceed in the meantime or otherwise. May not say that. On the status of the counseling.
हेलो बच्चों, तो अभी तक जो चीज़ें चली हैं उसका कंक्लूजन मैं आपको बता देती हूँ। कोर्ट ने ये कहा है, कोर्ट का अभी डिसीजन मत मान लो, ये स्टेटमेंट मान लो कि रीटेस्ट होना 3 चीज़ों पर डिपेंड करता है। पहला, क्या जो ब्रीच हुई है एग्जामिनेशन में वो सिस्टमेटिकली पूरा हुआ है, सिस्टम में हुआ है या लोकलाइज्ड है, ये कुछ कुछ सेंटर्स पे हुआ है। क्या ब्रीच इतनी बड़ी है कि एग्ज़ाम की इंटीग्रिटी जो है वो लॉस्ट हुई है, एग्ज़ाम ख़राब हुआ है पूरी तरीके से। तीसरा, क्या हम सेपरेट कर सकते हैं उन बच्चों को जिनको नकल से फ़ायदा मिला है, या दूसरा नकल या बेसिकली सेपरेशन इन बिटवीन द जिन्होंने चीटिंग की है, जिन्होंने चीटिंग नहीं की है। अगर तीसरा वाला जो पॉइंट है ये डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर है, अगर हम ये डिसाइड कर पाते हैं कि जो चीटिंग हुई है या जिन बच्चों को चीटिंग से फ़ायदा मिला है और जिनको नहीं मिला, अगर हम ये सेग्रीगेशन कर लेते हैं तो रीनीट की ज़रूरत नहीं है, और अगर हम ये सेग्रीगेशन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं तो रीनीट की ज़रूरत है। अब लास्ट में अभी थोड़ा सा और वेट करिए तो आपको फाइनल डिसीजन मिल जाएगा।
New measures are being taken to obviate any further breaches in the NEET in the future. A committee has already been set up by the government for deducing the steps to be taken for the future. Full details shall be made available to the court. The court may then consider whether the committee which has been constituted by the government should be allowed to proceed as it is, whether the composition of the committee should be
enhanced.
Be sufficiently enhanced to bring so as to bring together a pool of talent from diverse fields.
विक्रम, आ तो गए, जाओगी कैसे?
Learned Solicitor General and Mr. 𝐂𝐿𝐴, Learned Senior Counsel Solicitor General appearing for the Union of India, and Mr. 𝐂𝐿𝐴, Learned Senior Counsel appearing for the NTA, have requested the court to place the further hearing on Thursday ka date so as to enable them to make their to file the material in pursuance of the above queries by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Full stop. The affidavit shall be shared with counsel appearing on behalf of the petitioners. Simultaneously, the report of the investigating officer of the CBI shall also be placed on the record in the meantime.
May I be only be permitted to say one aspect?
So, I'll tell you why. Let there be, the reason why we are asking for this disclosure, whatever view we ultimately take, let there be confidence in the community that
Absolutely, I know that one. We heard with it.
But I have only one subject.
Where your lordship's views.
That's allowed, man. The entire results. Can I make one request that the copy will serve to us as well?
In view of the large number of counsel who are appearing on the side of the petitioners, we have requested that it has been agreed who will be the noble counsel.
Whosoever matters. Whosoever not the. So Suvik Sharma will do this.
Independently sometimes.
Shall act as nodal counsel. All the counsel for the petitioners who are desirous of pressing their submission for a retest shall file a common set of submissions not exceeding 10 pages before the hearing takes place on Thursday का date.
My lords, kindly allow the impleadment application, my lord.
Petitioner on this side, my lord, can it be also be
Time of loss.
on this side? Because there's some facts that
You are being supported by these.
I appreciate, but I also want to get out the fact that
डियर स्टूडेंट्स, काफ़ी हद तक आप चीज़ों को देख सकते हैं कि अभी भी चीज़ें थोड़ी सी वेडनेसडे तक की शाम 5 बजे तक डिले की जा रही हैं। यहाँ पे हो सकता है अभी भी हियरिंग होने वाली है, या फिर अभी यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि जो चीज़ें हैं वो एकदम फाइनलाइज नहीं हुई हैं। अभी भी कुछ चीज़ों पे इन्होंने मेंशन किया है, इन्होंने कंप्लीट जो सिनेरियो था उसको एनालाइज किया है, दोबारा से मेंशन कर दिया है, और अभी भी यहाँ पे फाइनल जो जजमेंट है वो अभी भी बाकी ही है। अभी हम वेट कर सकते हैं, राइट? अभी भी यहाँ पे आप बराबर देखते रहिए।
Answer also. Allah, they have changed answer of one question and allotted the number by that.
Yes, my lord. In fact, it's happened in my case also, wherein there are 3 answers. When it's
Mr. Solicitor, we have not specifically in our order included the red flags. If you can just
have understood,
right. I deliberately didn't put it into our order, but you can just see whether there are some cases like that which you can identify. See, so that then.
we have filed
I would like to place.
These have been served. Perhaps they are not given copies. The other ones who are intervening or etc.
What we would suggest is what you give us on Thursday, give to us, and one more thing, what you give us on Thursday, make it comprehensive so that we don't have to wait through your counters and everything. We just look at that basically.
And as may I make one small request.
We've now chalked out our roadmap.
Lord,
If we can, using whatever technology, common sense, and our understanding of the law, identify the wrongdoing students, we then don't have to ask 23 lakh students to again appear for the exam. If we have no other go, of course we are there too.
Kindly allow the impleadment application.
For us to file that one page,
38.
our diary number to be
Which
recorded.
is that matter, NEET matter.
Lord,
My lords,
All right. Yes, there are 3 other matters which we have to take. Sorry.
My lord,
our signature may be noted, so I file the pages. Our diary number made noted.
All right. Any other fresh matters on NEET which were not on board?
Yes, Lord.
After you can give the matters numbers to the court master. He will bring them on board.
my lords, kindly allow the impleadment application.
One more thing, Mr. Solicitor. Has everybody served their petitions on the council date?
But we have not
All right.
replies, my lords.
All right. Once again, the council appearing for all the petitioners, council appearing for all the petitioners, interveners, shall serve copies. On whom should we say?
Central, M.K. Maroria.
On Shri M.K. Maroria. And Mr. Vardhaman Kaushik, counsel appearing, counsel instructing the Solicitor General and Mr. Kaushik, R.C. Kaushik respectively. The 2 counsel appearing on behalf of the 2 counsel, Mr. Maroria and Mr. The Union of India and the NTA shall prepare a tabulated statement indicating for each petition, tabulated statement grouping the petitions into distinct categories so as to facilitate disposal. So what you can do is those which are asking for a retest, you can put in one category. Then individual grievances, then we'll see whether those grievances can be entertained, whether we ask you to look into it, what to do. But we'll have one tabulated chart on petitions.
Make it easy.
and as may I just request one indulgence.
That's why we said, therefore you serve a copy on the solicitor's.
Well, they have changed answer also. Can you see, they have changed answer of the one and have given the more marks to 13,000 students. That created problem for my ranking is concerned.
But look, this has nothing. Therefore, those petitions we may have to dealing. They are individual petitions. Those are individual petitions where you say you have a medical condition, you should have been given extra time. We'll deal with it separately. It does not deal with the sanctity of the examination. That's individual students' petition.
This order should not be deemed to be as restricting only to the case of leak because between the.
Not at all. In fact, that's why we have finally said this.
For the reason, my lords, on the 8th, while the exam was announced for the 5th, my lords, of May, on the 8th of April, overnight, my lords, they brought about a notification that there will be a window open for students who could not register for the exam way back on 16th of March. So this window that they opened, my lords, is absolutely difficult to understand.
So more students registered.
And 25,000 and so
That we can now.
Fellows, I'm appearing an item to do with just for 1 second of it. Fellows,
Look,
there are
more students registering, etc. How can we
utmost respect, because the initial advertisement never.
hear you? We'll hear you on that. We'll
Yeah.
hear you on that.
The entire result, the entire comprehensive result should be put on the website. Right now, what's happening is individual results only are put up. So somebody has to go. So we can't.
Mr. Kaushik, the entire result, except for those which you have, we will say that these results shall not give rise to any equities or legal rights. But you must at least now upload the result.
Yes, the entire results.
The result
Comprehensive.
the
Data science can work here.
1 second.
the revised result of 1563 and the rest of the persons all has been uploaded on 30th. No.
Individually.
But do you have
They have
uploaded?
So that is why we can't use data science. That's the problem. If they are deliberately keeping
under wraps.
No, this would, your lordships may take a call on that on Thursday. But there is something.
We'll apply mine carefully on.
Please, my lord.
Kindly, my lord.
I know it has also moved certain transfer. Manoj, the NTA is
Maybe the
अच्छा वो क्या करना है? हाँ?
track record of the toppers may be also looked at. Third,
Oblige.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. 35. Permission. The reason we kept your matter today was, now we knew that we can't take it up today, but what is the scope now of this All India Judges?
I appear in item 35.
Your Lordship.
My IA alone has been.
Only his IA is there.
So what's happened, Manoj? Your lordships have put it up for compliance today. Your lordships orders for the past 2 years have not been complied with. At least 8 or 9 states have not released pension and allowance arrears, even though your lordships on multiple occasions extended the time limit for payment of those allowances. So that's not been complied.
Should we just take up on Thursday the issue of compliance?
That's right. Thursday. So that's also far as compliance is concerned.
Compliance.
On the main, there's only one substantive issue.
Pension.
It's pension, the old pension scheme versus new pension scheme. That's the only substantive issue, and that because there are conflicts.
How long will we take on that?
All the submissions that are compiled and have been put in, I will take about 2-3 hours to explain the consequences of shifting from the old, and also to explain why
we'll have to take it up on a Tuesday.
We will have to
argue.
There's substantial argument from the state, and
so we'll take it up on a Tuesday. So this, what we'll do is today we'll keep your matter on Thursday, only for compliance of the payment of allowances, etc. by the state. That the union has no rule.
124 order.
124 order. So we'll keep that on Thursday. We'll take up the issue of compliance.
There is an IA listed today, Melis. There is an IA listed today. There is a fresh IA listed today.
डियर स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे अगेन काफ़ी हद तक चीज़ें वही सामने आ रही हैं कि अभी भी जो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया है उन्होंने जितनी भी चीज़ें मेंशन की हैं उस आधार पे अभी फाइनल रिजल्ट नहीं आया। उन्होंने अभी क्लियर कट नहीं कहा है कि रीनीट होगा या नहीं होगा। अभी भी उन्होंने कुछ समय लिया है और थर्सडे तक का इन्होंने टाइम बोला है कि थर्सडे को हम दोबारा से इस पे मेंशन करेंगे कि क्या फाइनल रिजल्ट आने वाला है। हमको अभी भी थोड़ा सा इंतजार और करना पड़ेगा।
Thursday.
Can we take it up on Thursday morning?
Just surprise us on
Thursday.
The fag end of the day now.
Thursday.
We'll take it up on Thursday.
Otherwise, they will be retired.
Any numbers just give. Right.
Yes, we'll give that.
Okay. Never fix this, right?
Take it up on
Yeah. My lords, your lordship, this refers to the National Commission. Your lordship, thank you so much for giving time. It refers to the National Commission on Allied Healthcare Professionals. It was already notified in 2021.
And we had issued notice in this 22nd.
Your Lordship, it was issued, the notices were issued in September last year.
What has happened now?
But till now, about 19 states, parties have not even entered appearance, Your Lordship. And only 6 have only just filed their, 6 states have actually filed their, replies so far.
Can you give us a little tabulated chart? We can keep it on Thursday.
Can we do it on next Monday, Your Lordship?
Okay, we can do it. We can take it up on Monday.
Monday.
If you can just give us a tabulated note.
Yes.
So that which are the states which have implemented, which have not, and
Yes.
which are the states which have not filed reply.
Absolutely.
We'll give them one last opportunity at the last.
सो डियर स्टूडेंट, अभी भी फाइनल निर्णय मैं कह सकता हूं कि जो फाइनल रिजल्ट है वो भी बाकी ही है, और फाइनल रिजल्ट आने पे हम आपको कंप्लीटली अपडेट करेंगे कि क्या होने वाला है इस पूरे सिनेरियो का। चलिए सेशन को यहाँ पे एंड करते हैं, और जो भी अपडेट है वो मैं शॉर्ट में आपको अपडेट कर दूंगा। थैंक यू सो मच।